Hello, and good evening. Welcome to Find My Divine. My name is Stefan Rybak. I'm your host and your moderator, and I am honored and blessed to be with you this evening. We are broadcasting on Facebook Live, we are broadcasting on YouTube Live in the United States, in the United Kingdom, and indeed around the world. Welcome to the show tonight, Peter Marks and Inbaal. Peter Marks has been a spiritual life coach for over 30 years. He's done psychic readings for royalty, for Hollywood celebrities, for people from all walks of life. Peter provides insights on career, love life, family and personal issues, finances, and he is known for his uncanny accuracy. Peter is a deeply spiritual man, and Peter believes that faith is a powerful force that can shape lives and indeed shape society and shape the world in very, very positive ways. Peter's clients adore his warm and friendly personality, his unique approach, and his positive perspective. Good evening, Peter Marks, and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Stefan. It's wonderful to be here. I'm excited about our new podium, and I think it's going to be a wonderful evening. At least that's what the guides are telling me. And psychically, I'm picking up we're going to have an amazing time.
We would also like to welcome to the show a new friend. Someone, although she is a new friend, we feel like we have known her eternally.
Mm.
And that is the sign of a great friendship when you make the connection and you feel as if you've known someone for a very long time. It is indeed a divinely inspired friendship. Inbal is an Israeli born British psychic and Wiccan priestess. She has been seen on television programs such as Big Brother's Little Brother, Housebusters, and Most Haunted. She has also been Elle Magazine's astrologer in the UK and has acted as guest astrologer for Elle Magazine in Japan on many, many occasions. It is my distinct honor and great pleasure, and I know I speak on behalf of Peter Marks when I say welcome to the show Inbal.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited and flattered to be here. It's an absolute honor for me. It can be a little embarrassing when people sort of recite the media work I've done because that's just a fraction of what I do. I find the connection with individuals from all walks of life to be the most empowering way to work and to grow from everybody's experiences together.
Now, Inbal, as we have discussed prior to this evening, you and Peter and I, this show began last year. It was a show that Peter and I did together, and the original name of the show was Free Psychics Online. And our goal when we first started the show was to provide free psychic readings for people all over the world. And we're very, very pleased, and Peter and I are very proud of the work that we did. But as the days and the weeks and the months went by, we realized very, very deeply that people were looking for more than psychic readings. Yes, they wanted the psychic readings. They wanted the intuitive insight. They wanted the astrological forecasts. But on a deeper level, they were searching for greater meaning within themselves, greater meaning within their lives, and how to overcome obstacles, how to overcome dysfunction, how to overcome the turbulence of the world. And we are living in very, very turbulent times. And we do have a number of people who are waiting to speak with you Inbal and waiting to speak with Peter. But since you're new to the show, I do want to start with you and ask you, very generally speaking, and get as specific as you want. Can you just briefly tell us what you are feeling on an intuitive level in terms of what's happening at this particular time in the world, and how can people get beyond the toxicity and the turbulence and the negative news and the war?
I have spoken of nothing else for the last few days because just this morning I was running with my friend. We're running, and you talk to pass the time, and she said to me, "Everyone is separating and divorcing, and things are hard, and we've had a difficult couple of years, and finding happiness within the turmoil, that's half the job. It's only half the job. So getting up in the morning and doing your best to feel thankful, not just for what you have but all the things that you will have. Doing some affirmations. For example, at the very start of the pandemic, my affirmation was, we're all doing our best. We're all doing our best, because everyone was approaching it from their own kind of perspective. So we're all doing our best. Help me ground myself and remind myself that everyone really is doing the best that is to their understanding. So finding that happiness within you, whether it's by affirmations, by meditations, by lighting a candle, by practicing yoga or Tai Chi, all of that is kind of half the job. But what we still have, I believe that the whole global community is still going through a certain ascension. And I think it's really no accident that everything is happening at the same time. That there's, worrying news from Europe, that there's, potentially yet another wave. It's all going on. And I believe that as a society, as a global society, are being called upon to find the purest version of ourselves. Each individual person finding the best within themselves, finding their divine, is how all of us will kind of ascend together. And ascension doesn't belong to one specific denomination or to one specific stream. I don't think any of us is going to gatekeep. If you want to ascend in your own way, you do that and go you. If you want to shift between streams of consciousness, if you want to shift between religions, awesome, because we're all feeding from the same source and we're all feeding the same source. So I think what we're all going through is a very unique global experience that's touching us all, and that is giving us the unbelievable privilege to find the psychic within us, the magician within us, the creator within us, and to grow from that, each person to themselves and everyone together as a global community.
Peter, what do you have to say to our viewers? As we said a few minutes earlier, we have people watching all over the United States. We have people
Yes.
watching in the United Kingdom, where we are just so honored to be. We're just so pleased to have you on the program tonight, Inbaal. And we've got people watching around the world. And what's happening in the world right now is affecting not just one area, but it's in fact affecting the entire planet. Peter, what would you say in terms of somebody wakes up in the morning and the news says all this bad stuff is happening? How do they go within to reach the divine that's within themselves?
Well, the first thing I did want to say is Inbal, I thought was amazing in what she just disseminated to globally. But to add to what she's already stated, what I try to do in the morning is I try to get up and I have breakfast, and then I automatically go into meditation. What I have found that is efficacious and works for me is I try not to watch too much TV or listen to the radio. I try in my own way during the day to only think in a positive manner. Yes, globally, we have chaos going on. And as it was previously stated so brilliantly, we have a lot of this going on sequentially. So many things are happening in the world right now that if a person is already predisposed to depression, anxiety, a fear, whatever the clinical issues may be. I think we have to, as spiritual beings having a human experience, we must realize that at the end of the tunnel of all this, no matter what your religion, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, whatever, Lutheran, there is a divine God. There is a God that has created all of us. We are not separate. We are inextricably connected. Even the Russians, Ukrainians, uh, individuals throughout the world, we are not separate from one another. And I'm finding out on a daily level, people are looking for prayer, they're looking for peace of mind, they're looking for connections with their brethren, within their family. And I want to convey to everybody, first love yourself, look in the mirror every day, and think of what positive messages, what positive gestures that you can convey to people when you go out of the house. Compliment people, see the good in them, see the magnificence, the brilliance, the God essence. And that's pretty much what I try to do every day. And what else helps me also, Stefan, is my connecting with you every day. I think we keep each other in a very spiritual, etheric, divine state of mind.
Peter, I'm honored that you would say that. And Inbaal mentioned a few minutes ago about an affirmation. And I think affirmations are extremely important because it is the verbal manifestation of what you would like to program within yourself. So, my feeling about affirmations, it's not only something that you should think about, but you should also verbalize so you can hear yourself saying it.
Yeah.
It comes out of your mouth, it goes back into your ears, and you're programming your own brain. And I think affirmations are something that should be done every day, several times throughout the day, as many times as possible. And I would like to share one affirmation that to me is the most powerful affirmation that I have ever experienced in my life. And I've been saying this affirmation for years. And through the good grace of God, I intend on saying this affirmation until my dying breath, whenever that might be. And here's the affirmation: every day, in every way, through the good grace of God, my life is getting better and better. Every day, in every way, through the good grace of God, my life is getting better and better. And so, if anybody watching has an affirmation that you would like to share with us, send it to us in chat. In the meantime, we're going to have our first guest come on and join us. Hi, is it Suze or Susie? Can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Hi, is it Suze, or Susie? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay. I'm asking you how to pronounce your first name.
Susie.
Okay, Susie. Very nice.
Thank you.
Where are you watching the show from this evening?
Mulberry, Florida.
Very nice. Who do you have a question for? Do you have a question for Inbal or do you have a question for Peter?
Either or. I'm not picky. Um,
All right. How about if I make the choice? I'm going to choose Inbal.
okay, sounds good.
So, what is your question for Inbal?
Well, I'm a little confused. I was in a relationship and I thought we were really in love, and he broke my heart back on November 1st. But since then, he gives me mixed signals that he wants. Sometimes he acts like he wants me back, and other times he throws me to the like a curveball, and I'm just lost. And I get told so many times that he's my soulmate. He's my twin flame. And I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cry. Um,
That's all right.
all I know is that the last time I saw him, he told me I'm still very beautiful. I'm very special to him. And he'll think about us getting back together. And then the next time I get a text message from him telling me doesn't matter how good or bad we will be, I just know I'll treat you not the way you want to be treated.
Oh.
And then a couple of days ago, he sent me a text message because I was stupid and sent him a text message because I keep telling myself I need to move on.
Not
And,
stupid, not stupid.
and I'm
Emotionally exuberant.
and so I texted him and told him maybe we could have lunch one day. And excuse my profanity or my pervertedness or whatever. I said maybe we could have lunch one day. If you don't want to have lunch, maybe we could just have sex. You know? And I said, but I hope you're well and I hope your fishing trip's going good because he was on a fishing trip. And he said, I'm glad that things are going good for you. And he said, maybe soon. And so, like I said, everything is just up in the up and down, up and down. And I don't,
Susie, what
and
is
I,
your
yes, I've
question
been,
for Inbal? What do you have a question for her? I
I
think
just
we
want to know,
have
should
enough
I just
background,
give
but
up?
what is your question?
Should I give up? Or should
Stay or
I just,
leave, stay or leave. That's like the most popular question ever. Stay or leave. Now, I want to take it a little deeper than stay or leave because I always really feel for a person that says, I'll never be able to treat you as well as, because I feel like that comes from his own insecurity. And it's such a pity if he throws it away because he's got issues. So if I could just ask you what your star sign is and what his star sign is.
do you mean like our zodiac sign?
Yeah, so if you just say your birthday and his birthday.
Okay, my birthday is October 30th, 1967. I'm a Scorpio and
Scorpio,
Pisces.
very good.
Yeah, he's Pisces.
Oh,
And his
yeah.
birthday's and his birthday's March 4th, 1969.
Yeah. My husband is March 4th as well. Isn't it funny when you get
Oh, well, happy
coincidences like
belated
that?
birthday to him.
75. But I'm thinking, don't give out personal details over the internet like dates of birth and stuff. And we're both doing it. So I've
Yes,
got
ma'am.
the card that represents Pisces right here for you, right? Very Piscean, dreamy and ethereal. And I'm looking for the Scorpio card. And as is so typical, the Scorpio card was hiding at the very back of the deck. And that's really because Scorpios don't like for their business to be like exposed to everyone.
That's why I
Now,
made
obviously,
myself private.
yeah, exactly. And it's a nice combination in how two water signs go together, but let me have a look how the two of you are towards each other, what you bring to the table, what your hopes and demands are, very briefly. I know I'm making it sound like it'll take 3 hours, but it's just a couple of minutes because I want to see how you feel for him, how he feels for you, and whether it would be in your benefit to stay or leave. Right. This is super, super important because you are curious about how he feels, and how he feels is very full of love, but he's got some short circuits. I'm doing here, no, some short circuits in his heart so that he'll feel all the love. And then where regular people will go and act on all the love, he won't know how to act on all the love, how to act towards you in a loving, full way. And you're thinking, well, it's not that big of a problem because, if he feels it, that's what's important. Yeah, if he feels it, that's what's important to him. But he would end up being emotionally impotent throughout the relationship because he just doesn't know how to act on his feelings. And the question of stay or leave, the tarot has got a wicked sense of humor as far as psychic tools go. And the tarot says to you, you can stay because you can notice a lot of compatibility. But if you ever want to have a balanced love story, you have to leave. And that's the thing. He can give you a lot of stuff, but he can't give you the balanced, even keel peacefulness of a regular relationship. And I feel like a lot of us were conditioned by movies and novels where it's victory over adversity and the whole fighting for your love is so exciting. But wouldn't you agree, Susie, that love is so much better when you don't have to fight?
Yep.
When you can just, do you know what I mean?
It's,
Go and put on 2 cups of coffee for the two of you, share a slice of cake on your balcony, and just enjoy, where there's not like the big mind boggling trying to figure out what's going on. So I feel like he's not going to change. I'm sorry to say that, Susie, because I really, really feel for you, and also because I like Pisces. but I think perhaps another Pisces would be great for you. Either a Pisces, or I actually see you very well matched with a Libra, because Librans are very balanced and chilled out, and they like beauty. And I wouldn't be surprised if you have some Libra within your chart. So sorry, it was kind of a big answer, but I kind of wanted to explain myself and not just say to you, no, check out, this is
yeah,
why. And by
I
checking
appreciate
out of a difficult relationship, you're leaving the door open for a much more straightforward relationship. So you're doing this for your benefit, for your own good.
Susie, if I could just
Yeah, it
jump
just
in,
drives me nuts.
Inbaal, that was just spectacular. That was really, really enlightening. Um, it's kind of. I just watched two females have an interaction, and so there's a natural connection between two females. So I want to be very, very careful, and I want to be very, very mindful of the interaction that you two had, woman to woman speaking together. But I do want to share with the group that I grew up in a very toxic and turbulent household. My father was verbally abusive, mentally abusive, emotionally abusive, physically abusive, and he was also sexually abusive to my mother. And my mother was an alcoholic. So this is the environment that I grew up in. And we all have different gifts. We all have different gifts, and one of the many gifts that I have been given, and I realized this as a young boy, is I was given the gift of perspective. I was able to view things as the observer. And one of the things that I wondered, and this is what I'm getting to, I want your reaction to this. Why do women go back to men who mistreat them over and over and over and over and over again? Why does that happen?
It's is, is that a question for me and Susie?
It's a question for you and Ball.
Right. Then I've got like a two-pronged answer. First of all, like I said to Susie, I think we were conditioned by a patriarchal, perhaps movie industry, perhaps a patriarchal, novelist. That kind of victory over adversity is something that we need to aspire to. That if we've got a difficult love relationship, maybe if Sandra D puts on a different lipstick, everything will change and Danny Zuko will go for her. And those messages, whereas, very cheerful and fun, are also deeply damaging. So we've got that on the one hand. And then on the other hand, I think there is a lot to be said about how women's reproduction is reduced to one egg, and men's reproduction is exceeded over many cells. And so I think for women, as women, we feel that if somebody loves us, that's a huge deal, and maybe nobody else ever will. And between the patriarchy and biology, I think it takes a lot of self work to be able to pluck yourself out of it. And it's something that I actually recall. I went through therapy in my 20s. Best thing ever. If anyone is hesitant about going for counseling, it's an hour with your phone off, talking about yourself. It's the best experience. And during that counseling, after about a year, I said to the counselor, I feel like I'm strong and I can move on from it. And she said, I'm not really sure, because at the time I was with a terrible boyfriend. And we carried on. And she said to me, when I set some boundaries with him, aren't you scared? She said that he's going to leave you. And I said, no, I'm not scared. If he's not prepared to honor the boundaries, then he's very welcome to leave. And she was like, okay, we can finish now, because that was what I needed to learn. And in her learned experience, that was probably what I was lacking in order to be able to find an equilibrium within myself. Now, we're all a work in progress all the time. Even the most evolved person still learns throughout their lives. So that was my lesson then. And I think, Susie's perhaps thinking to herself, nobody will ever love me again. And also, I'm not 19 anymore. So what other options will I have? And when I work with ladies who are in a terrible relationship, or with ladies who are single and hoping to find the right relationship, I always say that a big part of finding Mr. Right is knowing when to say goodbye to Mr. Wrong. Because as long as Mr. Wrong is in your life, Mr. Right is not going to feel like it's appropriate to make a move. So I can really see it from the lady's perspective, but I feel like, because I do this work like all the time, that maybe the way I put it across might come as a bit like, might come off a bit insensitive, because I would be like, just take a detour, get away from him. Whereas obviously it's not that easy, because there are karmic bonds within every person that you share that experience with. Sorry, again, it's a really long answer to a simple question.
Well, the answers are just great, and it's spectacular,
Thank
because
you.
this is what the show has become. The show has become people to overcome barriers. The show has become helping people to get beyond toxicity, turbulence, to enlarge people's thinking. We are, without trying to sound dramatic, we are trying to save and help humanity. And I know that sounds real big, but I have big goals than small goals or no goals at all. And that's why we changed the name of the show to Find My Divine. Now, Angela has been waiting very, very patiently. She wants to speak with Peter Marks. Good evening to you, Angela.
Hi, good evening. I'm okay. How are you?
We're
Hello,
doing
Angela.
very, very well. Say hello to Peter Marks.
Hi, Peter. How you doing?
How are you, dear? How can I help you? And I actually work with your date of birth, and then I call your guides. And so, may I ask what your date of birth is?
Right. February 12th, 1959.
February 12th
Mm-hmm.
of 1959.
59.
Okay. And what is your question for myself and the guides?
I would like to, I don't know if you could do this. Can I connect with my husband? He passed away.
Yes, if you would give me, okay. Please give me your husband's first name.
John.
All right, John. And if you would be kind enough to give me John's date of birth.
May 27th, 1959.
May 27th of 1959.
Yes.
Okay. I can't guarantee, I never guarantee, but I am going to actually tune in to see if he is willing to come in. Um Okay, I'm going to explain somebody that just came in, and let me tell you this. The person that just came in they're very sensitive soul, but they're also strong minded. They're very mentally strong minded. The person is telling me they are around you. I want to say the individual was telling me how connected he was with the family. The family was everything to him. He's
Yes.
pointing to the family and he's saying, no matter what I did in life, that family, she was everything to me. I'm also feeling here, he's very intuitive. He didn't use it when he was here, but he said that he is very, very intuitive. I also want to ask you, was there any issues around him growing up? He's showing me something around the father or the mother.
Yeah. There was.
All right. Did they ever resolve those issues before he passed? Because he wasn't on the best of terms.
No, they didn't really resolve it.
They didn't resolve it.
No.
Okay. He's telling me right now, do you feel him? Do you sense his presence? Because he is telling me he is constantly around you and trying to talk to you. And I feel a great deal. Was he a very magnetic personality?
Yes.
He was, the energy is incredible. He just is telling me, I'm fencing. He was the life of the party, so to speak.
Yeah.
Everybody adored him. Are you understanding this?
Yes.
All right. I want to also, he's pointing to the head and he's also pointing to the heart.
Absolutely.
All right. That's making sense to you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now, what I also want to say to you is this: you are still very loved. You're still loved. He is around you constantly. I'm also being he's also talking to me about money or financial. Do you feel comfortable with what was left? Because I feel kind of stress around that.
There was before he passed, but he had a lot of life insurance, so I'm
All
okay.
right. Yes, yes, because he's saying to me right now, I hope I left you well off enough that you will be comfortable. I'm also being told you were the love of his life. You really were the love of his life. He's saying to me, and I'm going to tell you exactly what he's telling me. He said he had other relationships, but they didn't work out. Are you
Okay.
understanding that?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm also being shown, I don't know why. What did water have to do with him? Because he's showing me water. He's showing me a lot of water.
He loved to be by the water.
All right. Did you both think at one time, were you thinking about buying something near the water? Because
We
he
would have
said, go ahead.
we would have liked to. We never really could have afforded it.
Okay.
But that was his dream. And we
That
always
was
went to
his dream.
Atlantic City.
All right. Because
Yeah.
I want to ask you this. He's telling me for you to bet on Powerball. He's talking about Powerball, and then he's saying buying lottery tickets. Now, I don't know why I'm getting a slot machine around him.
Well, we went to Atlantic City a lot, but he didn't play slots. He played poker.
All right, because he's saying to me up here, I'm playing slots.
Good.
He's saying he's playing slots. I also want to know, he's saying something about the house. Were you evaluating staying where you were or moving or?
I didn't know whether to pay off the mortgage or just keep the mortgage. So I didn't know which one he would have wanted me to do.
All right, what would be the advantage of paying off the mortgage?
I paid it off. So
You paid it off.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
I don't know who a Don is. He's talking about somebody named Donald or Don. You may not know them because he's talking to me from school. He is connected with people from school. You don't know who they are. Okay.
Don't know
Uh,
Don.
you don't know Don. All right. Was he always worried about finances? Because he
Oh yeah.
keeps he's saying I stressed out about money a lot, and I wanted to give much more to you, Angela, than I did. Do you feel guilty about something? He's saying stop feeling guilty.
Yeah, I feel guilty. I didn't see the signs that he wasn't well. I mean, it was so sudden, and I do feel guilty.
All right. Well, can I tell you this? Right now, he's going around to put his hands around you, and he wants you to go on and meet somebody. He's saying to me, I want you to have a life after me, and he's telling me how much he cared about you. I also feel, was he at all depressed? He was talking to me about some depression around the family. He wanted things to be better, but he couldn't quite effectuate the changes.
He wanted it to be better with his parents. We were soulmates. We were fine. We were
Yes,
always happy. So
yes.
I think he was
Okay.
about his own, childhood family.
His own childhood, because he
Yeah.
was saying, Dad, his parents were not around for him. He's saying, my
Mhm.
parents were not around for me.
No, they weren't.
All right. I want you to know that I'm getting a smile. He loves you dearly. He wants you to be happy, and he's thrilled that you came on tonight.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
You're quite welcome.
I
And I'm
needed to hear
sending
this.
love to you.
Thank you, Peter. I really needed to hear this.
Okay, dear. Have a wonderful evening.
This is what this is about. It's
Woo.
about touching people in very dynamic ways. Now, Inbaal, this is your first time on the program. You obviously were familiar with Peter Marks before you decided to come on to the show with us. I have to ask you, what do you think?
I think listening to somebody else's reading is such an intimate privilege to be allowed, and it really struck me, don't feel self-conscious, Peter, but it really struck me how when we have conversations and when you're talking about yourself, you're very softly spoken and very chilled out, and then when you get into the reading, you are getting those facts out there loud and clear. No word will get missed out. There are issues to be put across, and that is such a fun transformation. This is really somebody stepping into his power.
Yes.
It was mind-blowing for me, but it was just such a beautiful emotional experience. Your gift is immense, and I work with other psychics all the time. I trained with other psychics. Almost all my friends are. Your gift is immense, how specific and how readily you have the information. It blew my mind.
Thank you. I feel
Thank
very blessed by
you.
that. Thank you. Oh, a friend of mine. I wonder where she went. Okay. Did we lose Stefan? Hi,
Hello.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Hi there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you. And I have worked with you, darling. I love you. Would you also like to try Inbaal?
Yes, please.
Okay, sure.
So, Inbal, say hello to Kathy. Kathy, say hello to Inbal. And just before you two speak, Kathy, where are you tuning from tonight?
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Inbal, at this moment, is all the way across the pond in the United Kingdom, where it is 11:42 in the evening.
And
She has
very
agreed,
cold.
and very cold. So, Kathy, Inbaal, I'm going to let the two of you speak.
Hello, Inbaal.
Hi, Kathy. So fun to meet you.
Thank you.
What would you like to look at? So I work primarily with tarot cards, but not exclusively. So whatever you'd like to know about, I'm happy to jump in.
I'd like to know, I'm having some challenges in my life, and I'm just wondering if I will prevail, if the challenges, if I'll overcome these challenges. It's been a long time for me. I've been working with Peter for a while.
Yeah. So the way I asked it, the way that you present the questions is really crucial when you want to get like all the information out of an answer, squeeze that orange. So what I asked was whether you'll overcome or not, and also which of your skills will help you most when you are looking at overcoming your challenges. And first of all, it says, of course, you will overcome your challenges. You are the master of multitasking. You could make a coffee and talk on the phone and do a fitness class all at the same time. So when you're facing those challenges head on, it does look a little bit like you're trying to keep all the balls in the air. Let me show you the card that came up for you. Look at this guy trying to keep all the balls in the air. The tarot is very literal. It's very literal. But what it says to you, and this, I hate sort of saying anything that's like bad news, it's not going to be fun. I'm really sorry to say it, but mostly when you take on challenges that you do for fun, when you decide that maybe it'll be great to run 3 businesses, all of them from home, when you do that, you think, yeah, that'll be fun. And sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, but it feels like a good idea at the time. I feel like what you've got facing you at the moment, we can confidently say it's not going to be fun. So brace yourself to enjoy the period of your life before and after. And that will kind of motivate you to get rid of as much of it as possible. Are there things that you literally have to get rid of, like a property to sell or a business name to close? Because it literally sort of shows you having to flush some stuff away in order to lighten the load. And when I asked which of your skills are called on in order to make this period easier, what it said was your creativity. So in some situations, it's not going to be a straightforward answer. It's not going to be something that you can sort of go to a lawyer and they'll say to you, well, it's just A and B and C. You'll have to come up with creative ideas to do things that are totally legal, but unusual in perhaps what order you do them, or unusual in how you kind of line up the different things. I'm sorry to ask, but is one of the issues that you're facing, is one of them medical? The reason I'm saying that, so I'm not giving you even a chance to answer, but the reason I'm saying that is because as I was saying that there's things to get rid of, it occurred to me that it could be on a physical level. So if there is something that's literally uncomfortable in your body, and I hate to sound sort of really lackadaisical about it, but because surgery is kind of a big deal. But if there is a way to literally get rid of it, I feel like that would be quite an easy solution out, where even recovering from a procedure will be preferable to what you're going through right now. Does that make sense to you at all, Kathy?
No.
Oh, shall we hop that over to Peter to rescue?
I don't have any health issues.
Touch wood.
Okay, Kathy.
Hi,
Uh,
Peter.
how are you, dear? How are you? Um, the guys are actually telling me that you were going through changes right now, but they're now what they just showed me something around court. They're just showing me something around court. So what's happening with that right now? And is there anything going on like that?
I am still in court. 4 years. I am still fighting for my house, and I want to know, am I getting my house back?
All right. They're saying there's a delay. They're saying there's a delay with this, but they keep on saying to me, the guides are telling me right now that it will be shifting. I feel that you are going to have to go in front of the judge again, but they're telling me they feel your home will be given back to you.
It's been 4 years. It's the dead ex-husband with the
Yes.
sister-in-law trying to destroy my life.
Yes.
I think about you all the time, Peter, and I saw this tonight, and I'm grateful to be on.
Yeah, what I want you to do, Kathy, is this. I want you to actually visualize yourself being back in that house.
I
I
do that in
want,
the morning.
oh, I
You
do that
told
in
me
the
that. I do
morning.
that in the morning.
Oh,
I do it all the time. Sometimes I just think I'm daydreaming all the time about my house.
well, I want to say this also. They're telling me to let go. Let go, because if you don't let go, you will manifest health problems. You will develop health problems. But I am feeling, and they're showing me a change coming up. And there's two guides here that just said to me, you will be getting the house back. Will you be able to afford the taxes and everything associated with that house?
That's a separate issue.
All right. The guides just said this to me. We will give you back the house, but you have to figure out a way of supporting the house.
I can juggle. I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. Okay. Now, do you want to keep that house or do you want to sell the house?
I want to keep the house. I want to make it over, get rid of all the bad energies, bring in new energies, bring in the new love of my life, and I want to make it. I want to make it a brand new house with new memories, and I very much want to do that.
All right. I am being shown here as we're talking that they are telling me to go into meditation every day, think about it, but also they said we want a divine plan, because they're telling me if it's in your favor to win the judgment and you can't afford it, then they would foreclose and you would be stripped of that house. So I am being asked, and I'm also being asked why the house is so important. They said you can sell the house, you can move into another house. What is it about the house that you're holding on to? Is it the memories? Is it your marriage? What exactly? The guides are asking me to ask you that question.
It's been my house for 15 years. I was thrown out 3 years ago. So
Yes,
part of me wants back in my house, and I want to do a fresh start.
you want to do a fresh
It could be
start.
a fresh start. I sell real estate. Everybody knows me in real estate. It'll help me in business. I really want my house back, and I want
All
to do a
right,
fresh start, and I want to have chickens in the backyard, and be the realtor that gives out eggs.
right, okay. I'm being given the word, and the word is patience, patience, patience. You will have it back. And I'm being told also that your career with real estate is getting stronger. It's getting better. They're saying to me it's taking off. And I'm getting a message from the other side. Are you in love?
I have love.
All right, because they just said to me,
I got a
yeah,
Gemini.
all right, but are you in love again?
Yes.
Well, I just got the message from the other side. He's absolutely thrilled. He's
Mark,
absolutely, yes, yes, he's thrilled. He
I
wants
hope
you to go
so.
on.
I
He
hope so.
wants you to go on and he wants you. And I can tell the shift in the energy for you. I can really tell you're calmer. You've got that beautiful smile on your face. You're fine. You're going to be fine.
Thank you,
Okay.
Peter.
Kathy, thank you for doing the show
Welcome.
tonight. We've enjoyed having you on. Nicole has been waiting very, very patiently, and we want to say hello to Nicole. Nicole, are you there?
Hi.
Hello, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi. You are on with Peter Marks and Inbaal. And before you speak, Nicole, I just wanted to give a little perspective on Kathy. I thought it was fascinating. Kathy had spoken with Peter before off the show, but Kathy had never spoken with Inbaal, and you both people said the same thing. You got to get basically what you said was you got to kind of get a grip on your emotions. Otherwise, you're going to put yourself into a health. So I thought that was just very, very fascinating, and I wanted to mention that tonight's show is just so enlightening. And Nicole, speaking of enlightening, you've got that beautiful smile and the light radiating off of you. Who would you like to speak with?
You know, it doesn't matter. I'm blessed to talk to one of you.
Okay, why don't we
I'm
have
just
you speak with Inbaal then?
regards to.
Yeah.
We're going to have you speak with Inbaal. So hello to Inbaal.
Hi, Inbaal. Thank you.
Hi, Nicole.
What is your question?
So my question is surrounding a relationship. So, I've been with the same almost 14 years now, married for 13, and I have so much turmoil going on, and I don't know which direction I'm headed. And
What
I
are both
smile
of your
on.
star signs? Sorry.
Okay, so I'm a Taurus, and he's a Sagittarius.
Wow. That's not like literal opposite. It's like even worse than opposite, because Taurus is so chilled out. Do what you want, honey. That's all right. And Sagittarius is just all over the place. Now, I've got to tell you, I love Sagittarians because they're so funny and they're so messy and they're so fascinating, and they'll try anything. And I love people like that. But it must be exhausting to have that as your partner for this many years, because it's like having a toddler that doesn't grow up. So let's have a little look at the relationship. So I've got the Sagittarius card here. Do you see how it's all colorful? Is it male? Is it female? Who cares? Relates to everyone. And then the Taurus card is a grown-up. A grown-up, likes books, likes learning stuff, likes making food and having it. So what's funny is that they are such opposites, but that is not the first time that I see this case of opposites attract, because the Sagittarius allows the Taurus to see that life can be a bit of a party, and the Taurus allows the Sagittarius to see that there's really nothing wrong with being a grown-up, even every day.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at the two of you. From the way you described it, I understood that you didn't wait very long between meeting and marrying.
Oh, yeah, that's very, very quick.
Ah, wow. Okay. It's really important for me to impress upon you right from now that nothing in the whole relationship is your fault, that you have been like on top of things, trying hard, accommodating, you've been listening, you've tried to adapt yourself. You're like, okay, you need me to be a bit more party, I'll be a bit more party. Oh no, you need me to be a bit more grown up, I'll be a bit more grown up. You have done everything. It's not your fault, But I'll add to that that it's not exactly his fault either, because I feel like he is emotionally not really anchored to real life and to reality. I feel, do you sense from him that he might suffer with depression?
Mhm. Yeah.
I think maybe depression in Sagittarius doesn't present quite the same as it would in other people, because Sagittarians don't do melancholy, but he might take risks unnecessarily, or he might sort of act towards life. He might act towards life like it doesn't really matter. And I feel like your pattern with the relationship with each other is for him to tell you that he loves you, and it is true, he does love you, but then to just chill out about it. I love you, but I'm not going to do anything about it. And for you to just work at it and work at it and work at it. And you are sweating with the effort of trying to figure out what he wants. But the truth is that he doesn't know what he wants either. If there was any way to get him to work on his stuff, then you could have a perfectly normal relationship. But I don't know that he can even acknowledge that he has something that he needs to work on. So you're
It
starting from
it seems
you're,
to me just that he very like unaware that his actions, well, he's like a chronic liar. So hard. It's hard and exhausting. And I can never tell what reality I'm living in, because I feel so grounded to, I feel like I'm the adult in the situation, like grounded to what's happening, and not, you know, and there's words and apologies and never like actions. So it's there. It's like the words are right, but then there's no, it's sort of like, oh, okay, chill now. Like, we're good.
yeah, well, do you know what? The way you're describing it just makes me even more certain that he has got some, some serious psychological stuff that he needs to work on, because constant lying is definitely not how regular people behave in regular life, really in any situation. Now, I know that you're questioning whether he loves you, and it doesn't matter whether or not he does, but he does. And so if you're going to walk away from it, don't walk away thinking, I just blew the last 10 years of my life on somebody that never even loved me. He does, and he did. But because he doesn't know how to behave in in a normal interaction with a woman, that is super problematic, because like I said, I don't think he
Mm.
can acknowledge that he's got a problem. And I don't think, if he doesn't acknowledge that he's got a problem, he's not gonna get to work on his stuff. And the worst thing about somebody who is so emotionally unstable is that it's dragging you down. Because let's
Well,
say
that's
you leave him tomorrow, right? Let's say you leave him tomorrow and you start a relationship with, maybe with my brother, he's single. And he says to you, good morning. He says to you, good morning. You'll immediately think, a lie. And in that respect, you'll be dragging the old relationship into the new relationship in a way that forces you to have to undergo an emotional process, because he's been gaslighting you for so many years that you don't know what's even going on in the world. So I'm not going to tell you to leave him,
right.
because you already know all that stuff. But it's really sort of, what's important is, first of all, to give you a big round of applause for even managing to keep yourself together inside this kind of whirlpool of impossibility, but also to remind
Well,
you that
I
when
think
you
that's
are out of this, Nicole, you'll have to get like recalibrated to figure out, truth from lie, fact from fiction, falsehood from truth.
Nicole,
I
thank
feel
you
like
for coming onto the show
it's
tonight.
breaking me.
We appreciate
Like,
you bearing your soul,
yeah.
and we wish you good luck. God bless you abundantly. Welcome Vinci right now. Vinci is tuning in from the state of Connecticut. Hello, Vinci. Are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to see you as you are tuning in from the great state of Connecticut. And I understand you want to speak with Peter Marks. Now, for those who know Peter or haven't had a reading from Peter, he will ask your date of birth. So, Vinci, what is your date of birth?
September 30th, 1963.
1963. What was the date in September again?
The 30th.
September 30th.
September 30th, 1963.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason Peter asked for the date of birth is, in addition to being a psychic, Peter is an astrologer, and he has created his own astrological forecast. So we ask for the date of birth, and he is plugged date of birth into his special astrological program, and I believe Pete's done that. So, Peter, what do we have for Vinci at this moment?
All right. The one thing I want to say for Vinci right now, a lot of energy. You have a lot of energy. I hope you're using it. Are you using it?
I am using it. There's a lot going on. Yes, I'm
All
using it.
right. Now, I want to ask you, you're going through a lot of emotional changes right now. I feel emotional changes, and I think you're coming into your own spiritually. But I also want to say to you, are you aware that you have very strong intuitive abilities?
Yes, I am aware of that.
All right. Are you using them?
At times.
All right. At times. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to ask you about, they keep on saying conflict, conflict, conflict. So I feel as if, are you aware what your karma is in this life?
Not completely.
All right. Your karma in this life is issues around the family.
Okay.
Have you resolved those issues?
Not completely, but I've resolved them to a point where I am okay with how things are, if that makes sense.
All right. So you've come to peace with that.
Yes, exactly.
All right. I also want to tell you in May, you're going to be going through a shift. And the shift is going to be with who you are as a person and energy. Are there any issues in relationships? Because they're saying to me right now, a lot of changes and you have to make a decision.
Yes, actually, our son is adopted and we are in contact with his biological family.
Oh,
A lot
okay.
going on just as of yesterday. So,
All right. And what are you most concerned about? Because I'm feeling anger.
I'm just concerned. I just want to make sure it's done in the right way and that,
Are you talking about with the adoption or?
yeah, with me and the biological family.
They're saying yes. They're saying yes. Now, what I want to say to you is this. I feel that you're a very nurturing, caring person, but you also want to do things in a very diplomatic, legal way. And I'm also sensing here, and I want to describe this to you. I feel as if everything is going to be working out here. You're very nurturing. You're very much a nurturing individual, and I'm being told that everything is going to be unfolding. Are you anxious about something? Because I don't know why they're saying this to me, but they're saying to me anxiety with you, and then they're saying something around the head and the stomach.
Okay.
All right, so this is, if it's not happening now, they're
Mhm.
showing me something around your stomach, and this is good. This is going to be in the future. I feel everything is going to be fine. So, what are you most nervous about?
Well, just had communication with the bio mom as of yesterday, and things are kind of moving forward and moving very fast. So I haven't had a chance to really process it. So I think that's where the anxiety comes in.
All right, that's where the anxiety comes in. Have you already connected? Is this child is with you, correct?
Yeah. And he's been with us since he was 3 weeks old. And
Oh,
we've
3 weeks. Oh, okay.
family, but now it's getting to a point where it's going to the next level.
Going to the next level. The guides are telling me everything is going to be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other question?
Not that I can think of right now. I'm just overwhelmed.
All right. Well, that is a lot of. It is overwhelming. I actually adopted years ago at about 14, and he's now 31. So I know exactly what you're going through, and you're a very loving person, and I can see it in your soul. You want to give the best background and support to this child.
Thank you.
Okay.
Finzi, thank you so much for joining the show tonight. It's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Stefan.
Well, the time has flown by so quickly, and here we are at the end of this program. Inbaal, your feelings about the experience of tonight's show and the information that's been put forth.
Oh, that's it. I'm still so overcome that I got to come on the show with you guys, and it was a marvelous experience for me to connect with people on the other side of a big ocean and to make those connections, because we're all living the same human experience, to make those connections and to be able to touch those lives. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you to everyone viewing for being so welcoming.
Inbaal, it has been a pleasure to have you on. It has been an honor to have you on. Thank you for joining the show tonight. You've given such an in-depth perspective that Peter and I have been talking about and thinking about and praying about and meditating about, and all of those intentions have manifested in the form of you. So it's just, I'm very grateful. So Peter, what do you think?
I'm actually sitting here in a state, if you want to label it nirvana, divine peace. I am so thrilled and happy with the addition of Inbaal coming on. And the time went very, very quickly. And I am hoping that we continue to have this marvelous podcast. And I want to say gratitude to Inbaal, but also to you, Stefan, because you amaze me with your technological acumen and your ability to just pull things together. Unfortunately, I'm technically a neophyte, and I should actually pick
Why
up.
we make a good team? You know, the team has been made even better because, you know, I call it as I see it. And up until now, it's been two white guys with gray hair, two very nice guys with gray hair. And so it's
the best.
It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful to have a beautiful female in the form
Yes.
of female perspective. And thank you so much. And as Peter knows, I like to end the shows with a thought that people can take away from the show this evening. And here is my thought. The challenge you're facing, if the challenge that you are facing can only be successfully met with courage and self-discipline and persistence, then, my friend, it is a valuable life experience. Face your fears and your doubts head on. Face your fears and your doubts head on, and you will discover that they have very little power over you. Embrace the positive spirit. Embrace the resilience that has gotten you to where you are today. Thank you, one and all. Peter, thank you. Inbaal, thank you. Thank you
Thank
to
you,
everybody
Stefan.
watching around the globe, in the United States, in the United Kingdom, around the world. Find my divine. And it is our sincere hope that by watching tonight's show, you have found that sparkle of divine within yourself. We hope to see you soon. Good night.